And he's gonna be able to do, I mean, it takes like 2 years till they graduate, so, the graduation's actually gonna be in Disney World.
So when you train the dog, does someone come to your house?
He actually lives in Crown Point, so I drop him off like a kid at the daycare every day.
Okay. And Chase, let me ask you something. Do people constantly ask you stuff about all this? Do you ever get tired of answering questions?
Sometimes.
Do you feel like it's pretty cool to be diabetic, or it's more passive? Do you feel like you're like a superstar sometimes? You see, I think in the future you're going to be able to use this to your advantage. Anybody have any questions for Chase? Go ahead.
When he smells the blood sugar too high, too low, is he going to come to you? What he do?
Well, what he does is, well, to train them to scent the blood sugars high or low, they start with low blood sugars. I mean, we take samples all the time. So if his sugar's low, I have a container that we put a gauze in, and he'll spit on the gauze, and then we'll put another gauze on top of it, and we keep spitting on the gauze, and trying to get as much samples as we could out of a low blood sugar, because he's typically not low. Usually he runs high, but some of the kids run low and don't really get high, and so we do that between starting at about a blood sugar of 80 or 70, depending on the kid. And then that's when I'll start the low blood sugars and having them spit on gauze. And then so what you do is you train the dog to make a certain alert when he smells that scent. So like if he would smell a low blood sugar odor, then he would be trained to tap a paw on your leg. Or a high blood
leg or his leg?
On his leg.
Okay.
And then the high blood sugar odors, when he's high, you do the same thing, spit on the gauze, and then when they do the scent training, they'll be trained to maybe like hit their nose on your leg.
It's just like different signals.
Right.
So you know what you want.
It's like train your dog to sit and stay. And then two, they're trained, we had these things we hooked to the refrigerators, and if ever he would get low and needed an orange juice or something, the dog's going to open the refrigerator and get the orange juice. And bring his orange juice. The dog can smell like lithium in a cell phone.
Yeah, they can do like
Please tell me you give
reward
him
the dog whenever you
During training.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
We carry around, like when, every week the group gets together and they carry around clickers and treat bags, and then so, the trainer will go through like a motion with each dog, and then the kid has to go through the motion, with the dog.
Now I have a question. I noticed, Chase, that you have this little sore. You have a couple little sores on your skin. Do you tend to get more sores than most people, you think? What is that from? Do you know? Mosquitoes. Do you notice that you're more sensitive, that you develop, insect bites sometimes get pretty bad?
And he picks too. He's a bad picker. See, he used to ride the school bus, and when he used to ride the bus, the mosquitoes would be really bad in the morning. And then so his ankles were like so bit up from the mosquitoes, so eventually I had to find him a ride to school in the morning because.
Oh, long pants.
Well, I wanted to wear jeans today, some nice jeans today, and of course he wants to wear his favorite shirt.
Those are some nice shorts. What do you also have?
Yes, I like them.
I
A
like them.
plus.
I don't like them, but anyways.
You're smiling.
But yeah, that's and the doc, like when I was like, man, you have to do something with mosquitoes. Like, well, they attack me, and that's the thing, they wouldn't heal up, and then he'd pick.
So do you think that the mosquitoes are attracted to his
High blood sugar.
high sugar?
Well, we live in Lafitte, so.
Could be anything.
But you don't get the same type of reaction.
The sweeter blood.
I think
No, not really. But I don't pick. He scratches and he picks, and I don't do that because I'm mindful of.
I think it's for sure.
I have to be honest, I'm impressed with Chase. I mean, he looks like he's got it together. He knows how to deal with it.
Oh yeah,
A lot of kids wouldn't be able to deal with this.
He's pretty compliant for the most part, especially when he's in school, because he's on a regimen. Whether, this week he's off, so he's kind of like hitting up the pantry a lot and, helping himself.
Look at the dog. Aww.
But he does good, for the most part he does really good.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
When he, when he was on the injections, that was, I'm telling you, it was
So when he was taking, what was his regimen before when he was taking injections?
It was, he was a lot lighter then, because it was
What insulin was he taking?
It was Lantus and Novolog. That's two
All right.
that I had from this.
So he was taking a long-acting insulin. When would he take that? What time of day?
He would take it about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then it was about,
The Lantus?
and it was about 14 units. So you would take 14 units of the Lantus, and then you would have to take another shot with that, which would be his breakfast. And then so that,
So what shot would that be? You
that would be
walk?
Novolog.
Oh, Novolog, same thing. So take the Novolog, but a separate injection.
Right.
Okay, because you can't mix the two.
Mhm.
And so you do it then another injection before lunch,
Before lunch.
and another injection before supper.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So when
And
he was,
then-
I'm sorry. You talk.
And then, any additional injections if he was high during like a snack time. Because you have to have snack times between meals because of Lantus.
Right. So sometimes if he was high, he'd take even a fourth injection of the short acting.
Right.
Okay.
So it'd be like about 5 shots of him.
Wow.
And then there's times, another girl that goes to school with him, she would take Lantus twice a day. It would be like a lower dose of Lantus, but she would take it twice a day. And her mom was up all night because she would go high at night, so she was taking this, she was on a lot of injections a day. But now she's on the pump as well too.
Right. Hey, do you find that the pump has regulated the sugars?
Oh, by far.
What's his hemoglobin A1C running?
It was 7.1.
Okay, that's pretty good. What was it running before?
Well, I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. It was high
It
though.
was
Because
below
we would
6.
never get, his doctor sends us a paper telling us what the A1C is. And then if that 7.1 was the first time we ever got a smiley face.
Right. You know, the problem is if you get it too tightly controlled, like if you bring it down to 6.5%, which is normal, then you're going to have episodes of hypoglycemia.
Right.
So you want it well controlled, you want to bring it down, but you'll find the better your control is, the more episodes of hypoglycemia you start having.
But within the last year, it's been so hard for him to even get a low blood sugar because he's growing so much. Like his insulin regimen, his need for insulin has
Is
gone up
increasing,
so
right.
much that, he was high for so long, and the doctor's like, it was only like 6 months since February or whatever, and then he had gained 10 pounds in a matter of 6 months. So he was just growing like crazy. You could tell he's not like overweight or anything. He just sprouted up.
Right.
And his need for insulin was,
Well, how tall are you now, like 6'3"? Like over the past year, how much do you think he's grown?
he's on, probably last year he was right here. So, he's probably grown about 3 inches for sure.
He's like a bean sprout.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting shorter, but he's really getting taller.
Well, I have to say, this was an excellent presentation.
Yeah.
Really.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming. I was about to say
You learn, when you're a patient, you learn more about that disease than any of the healthcare providers.
Well, yeah, there's times like, he's only been hospitalized, his initial, he was 3 when he was first diagnosed. So he was hospitalized then, and then he was, his second hospitalization was 7 years later. So he went 7 years without,
He's doing well.
and he was on injections at the time. And the reason why he ended up being hospitalized is because he had the flu or some kind of stomach bug. And I thought, well, he couldn't even take water, he would vomit. And everybody else in the family had it, and it kind of, went its course in about 24 hours. So I thought, okay, well, 24 hours, he'll feel better. So I didn't give him any insulin. Well, little did I know, that would send him into, the diabetic ketoacidosis, and we ended up in a hospital for a week. So, but that was his
Do you remember when he went to the hospital, what his sugar was?
his initial,
When he first went into the ER?
well, it was about 900. He was,
All right, and what was do you remember what his pH was?
he was about 4 hours from going into a coma
Yeah.
and not making it
Right.
past midnight.
You don't remember it was like 7.1, 7? You don't remember the number?
But it was yeah. They if we would have waited any longer, we got there at about 6 o'clock in the evening at Children's Hospital, and then they said by midnight he would have been in a coma and all that.
Oh, we're glad we got you back.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? -3?
Yeah, me and three.
What was the other?
He survived a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just brother, she.
Well, thanks for coming, y'all.
Yes, thank you so much.
Today's been a good day.
It's a great day.
Yeah,
Presentation.
I mean, I felt like I learned something.
This is my little bag of like, you don't use the pens anymore unless it's like.
I think the pens are pretty neat.
Uh-huh.
It used to be people always had the refrigerator.
And this is a glucagon.
And aortic stenosis.
Oh, to raise his, oh, what's glucagon used for?
The basil.
To raise his glucose.
Low.
That's pretty neat. Thank you so much.
All right.
That was really good.